Hi everyone, this is Christine Kaminga and this is my demonstration for Project 2. So this is my circuit that I made. I used the DTH or DHT11 temperature sensor for this project. So the data pin on the sensor is going to A0 on the Arduino Mega, and then the VCC is connected to the 5 volts on the Arduino, and then the ground pin is connected to ground. And then here I have pin 2 connected to ground, and this is my pin that I used for the interrupts. Then if we go over to the code, this is just a library you have to include to use the DHT11 sensor. And then I have an interrupt on pin 2. And so the setup here, I just have a little section for stabilizing the temperature. And then once this temperature is stabilized, it prints out temperature stabilized to the screen and a serial monitor. And then the pin mode for the interrupt pin is set to output. And then I have this pin attached to an interrupt. So every time that this pin senses or receives a rising edge, it'll go to the interrupt routine. And initially I wrote the interrupt pin to low because I didn't want anything to be printed out yet. So here I set the pin to high, so this calls the interrupt and jumps down here. And this interrupt occurred is a Boolean variable, so every time it's set to true, it will allow this if statement in the main loop to run, which is where the temperature is read and printed to the serial monitor. And then after it sets this to true, then it writes the interrupt pin back to low so that it can be ready to receive another interrupt after about 10 seconds. So after the interrupt happens, this interrupt occurred equals true. So we come back up here, and then this if statement occurs. So if interrupt occurred is true, which it is, then it's going to read the analog pin that's connected to the sensor, and then it's going to convert that temperature to Fahrenheit. And then this is taking the time from the Arduino, and then it's going to print that to the serial monitor. And then it's going to set interrupt occurred back to false, so this interrupts, this if statement can't run again until the interrupt's called again. So then after this occurs, we're going to delay for 10 seconds. And then after that happens, it's going to check this if statement, but since this is not true yet, it's going to go back up to the top of the loop. The interrupt pin is going to be set to high. We're going to go back to the interrupt. It's going to go back to this main code, go through this if statement, and then the process is going to repeat until the time is equal to 930 seconds, which is about 15 and a half minutes, which is about the time it would take to do this whole project. And then once that happens, then it ends the program. So that's about it for the program. So now we can run it. So now we can verify it. And then upload it. And now it's going to stabilize the temperature for around 20 seconds. And now you can see it's starting to take temperatures. So we'll just let this run for about 15 minutes. So now you see it's been about 5 minutes since we left the Arduino out. So as soon as it hits 5 minutes, I'm going to put it in the fridge for another 5 minutes. So now we're right around 600 seconds, which is about 10 minutes. So we're going to take it out of the fridge and let it sit at room temperature for another 5 minutes. So now that we have the data recorded, we can copy and paste it. And I copy and pasted it into Notepad. And then save it as a CSV file. And you can open it up in Excel. And then we can do a temperature versus time graph. And then the X values are going to be the times, and the Y values are going to be the temperatures. Okay. Oops. Okay, and there's the graph. So this is, oops, it's taking a second. Well, anyway, this is time down here in seconds, and this is the temperatures in Fahrenheit. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to looking at your projects too.